There are texts that were never meant to reach your hands. Knowledge that was buried beneath polite philosophy and moral decoration. Machiavelli wrote 2 versions of everything. One for the public. One for the prince who understood that survival does not care about your conscience. What you are about to hear is not the sanitized version they teach in universities. This is the blueprint, the raw schematic, the architecture of power that was considered too dangerous to speak out loud. And the reason you are not supposed to know this has nothing to do with morality. It has everything to do with control. Because the moment you understand these blueprints, you stop being manageable. You stop being predictable. You stop being one of the many. And that makes you a problem to every system built on your compliance. Now, before we dive deeper into this journey, I need your help. My ex-girlfriend said I am a failure and can never be successful speaking the truth on YouTube about how the world operates. She said nobody will subscribe to a failure's channel. Please subscribe now. Let's prove her wrong. It will be a shame if what she said happens. Please help this young man gain his confidence back. And please tell me where you are watching from right now. Drop your location in the comments because I would love to know where my amazing viewers are tuning in from and to prove to her that people around the world now watch my channel. Most people think Machiavelli wrote about politics. They are wrong. He wrote about human nature in its most undressed form. He documented what people do when the mask slips. When survival is on the line. When reputation does not matter anymore. And what he found was so disturbing that even he had to hide it inside metaphors, historical examples, and carefully chosen language. But if you read between the lines, if you look at what he did not say as much as what he said, a different text emerges. A shadow manual. And that is what we are extracting today. These are the blueprints they never wanted you to see. And once you see them, you cannot unsee them. You cannot go back to pretending the world works the way they told you it does. Blueprint 1. Every relationship is a power contract. Machiavelli watched something in the Italian courts that no one wanted to admit. Friendships were not formed by affection. They were formed by utility. The moment one party became useless, the friendship dissolved. Not loudly, not dramatically. It just faded. Invitations stopped coming. Letters went unanswered. The relationship died of irrelevance. And here is the part they do not want you to know. That is not corruption. That is the default. Every relationship you have ever been in, whether you admit it or not, is a power contract. An exchange of value. You provide something. They provide something. And as long as the exchange feels balanced, the relationship continues. The moment it becomes lopsided, tension enters. Resentment builds. And eventually, someone leaves. This is not cynical. This is structural. Your parents loved you, yes. But they also needed you to validate their sacrifice, to carry their name, to prove their life meant something. Your friends enjoy your company, yes. But they also need you to reflect their identity, to witness their existence, to make them feel seen. Your romantic partner desires you, yes. But they also need you to provide security, status, emotional regulation, or a future they cannot build alone. None of this makes the love fake. It makes it human. But here is the blueprint they do not want you to see. The person who understands this has the advantage. Because while everyone else is pretending relationships are purely emotional, you are managing the value exchange. You are making sure you are never the one who needs more than you provide. You are ensuring that walking away from you costs more than staying. Machiavelli said it plainly. Men are more likely to forgive the death of their father than the loss of their inheritance. Read that again. People will forgive emotional harm faster than they will forgive material loss. Because emotion is abstract. Loss is concrete. And concrete loss reveals what people actually valued. You do not know what someone truly cares about until you see what they fight to keep. So if you want to know where you stand in someone's life, do not listen to their words. Watch what they protect. Watch what they sacrifice for. Watch what they are willing to lose you over. That will tell you everything. Now let me ask you something. Comment this below. Say, I now see relationships as contracts, and I will never be the one offering more than I receive. Write it. Let it settle. Because the moment you see this blueprint, you stop being used. You stop being the friend people call only when they need something. You stop being the partner who gives everything and gets breadcrumbs. You become strategic. And strategy is the first layer of self-respect. But here is where it gets darker. Because Blueprint 2 is not about other people. It is about you. And what Machiavelli discovered about the self will make you question everything you think you know about identity. Blueprint 2. Your personality is a tool, not a truth. There is a line in The Prince that most people skip over. Machiavelli says a wise ruler must learn how not to be good. Not how to be evil. How not to be good. That phrasing is intentional. It implies that goodness is a choice, a costume, a strategy, and the man who cannot take it off when necessary will be destroyed by men who can. Here is the blueprint. Your personality is not fixed. It is not your essence. It is a tool you have been using to navigate the world since childhood. You learned that being funny kept you safe, or being quiet kept you unnoticed, or being agreeable made people like you. And you wore that personality so long you started to believe it was you. But it is not. It is just the tool that worked in the environment you were in. Machiavelli understood this at the deepest level. He was charming in diplomacy, cold in strategy, humble in letters to the Medici, ruthless in his private writings. He was not being fake. He was being versatile. And versatility is the mark of someone who understands that survival requires range. You are not one person. You are a collection of capacities. And the moment you limit yourself to a single personality, you limit your ability to respond to different environments. The blueprint they do not want you to know is this. You can be kind without being weak. You can be ruthless without being cruel. You can be generous without being taken advantage of. But only if you stop believing that you have to be the same person in every room. Most people are trapped by their own consistency. They think integrity means showing up the same way everywhere. So they bring their softness to battlefields. They bring their aggression to moments that require subtlety. And they lose. Over and over. Then they blame the world for not appreciating who they are. But the world does not care who you are. It cares whether you are effective. Machiavelli wrote about the lion and the fox. You must be both. The lion frightens wolves. The fox recognizes traps. But here is what people miss. The lion and the fox are not two different animals. They are two modes of the same operator. And the operator who cannot switch between them will be eaten by the one who can. So let me ask you, who are you pretending to be because you think that is who you are supposed to be? What version of yourself are you performing because you are afraid that without it, people will not recognize you? Comment this. I am not my personality. I am the one who chooses it. Say it out loud. Because that sentence is freedom. The freedom to be soft when it serves you. The freedom to be hard when it protects you. The freedom to stop defending a version of yourself that is making you weak. Now, if you are still with me, you are already in deeper than most people will ever go. And that means you are ready for Blueprint 3. This one is about morality, and what Machiavelli actually believed about good and evil. And I promise you, it is not what they told you in school. Blueprint 3. Morality is a weapon the weak use against the strong. Machiavelli was called godless, immoral, a corrupter of souls. And you know what he never did? He never defended himself by claiming to be moral. He did something far more dangerous. He questioned whether morality, as it was being preached, was even real. Here is the blueprint. Morality is not universal. It is cultural. It is situational. And most importantly, it is tactical. The same society that tells you killing is wrong will send you to war and call you a hero. The same religion that preaches forgiveness will execute heretics and call it holy. The same people who condemn lies will lie to their children about where babies come from and call it protection. Morality is not a fixed truth. It is a flexible framework designed to control behavior in a way that benefits the group. And here is the part they do not want you to understand. Morality is often used by the weak to limit the strong. Think about it. When someone has no power, what do? They appeal to your morality. They tell you it is wrong to use your strength, wrong to take what you have earned, wrong to leave people behind. And if you are not careful, you will internalize that guilt. You will sabotage your own rise because you have been convinced that success makes you a bad person. Machiavelli saw this everywhere. Princes who hesitated to act because they were afraid of being judged. Leaders who lost kingdoms because they wanted to be remembered as kind. And he wrote this as a warning. If you prioritize being seen as good over being effective, you will be destroyed by people who do not have that handicap. Now, does this mean morality does not matter? No. It means you have to decide what your morality is based on. Is it based on what people tell you is right? Or is it based on what actually protects the people you are responsible for, including yourself? Machiavelli's morality was simple. Do what serves the survival and flourishing of your house. Everything else is decoration. If being merciful serves that, be merciful. If being ruthless serves that, be ruthless. But do not be merciful because you are afraid of being called cruel. And do not be ruthless because you are trying to prove something. Be responsive. Be effective. Be honest about what the situation requires instead of what your reputation can afford. This is the blueprint. Stop letting other people's definition of morality prevent you from doing what you know is necessary. Stop apologizing for protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty for outgrowing people who wanted you to stay small. You are not immoral. You are awake. And awake people make sleeping people very uncomfortable. Let me see who is awake right now. Comment this. I will no longer apologize for doing what is necessary. Drop it below. Let that be your line in the sand. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. Because these blueprints only go deeper. And you are going to want to be here when I reveal what Machiavelli said about loyalty. Because Blueprint 4 is the one that will change every friendship, every partnership, and every alliance you ever make again. Blueprint 4. Loyalty is purchased, not given. Here is a story Machiavelli never wrote but understood completely. A prince once spared the life of a traitor because the traitor swore loyalty with tears in his eyes. The prince believed him. 6 months later, that same traitor opened the gates to an invading army. When asked why, he said this: "You spared me out of weakness, and I cannot follow a weak man." Machiavelli knew something most people refuse to accept. Loyalty is not inspired by kindness. It is inspired by respect. And respect is not given to the merciful. It is given to the formidable. The blueprint is this. People are not loyal to you because you are good to them. They are loyal because being disloyal costs too much. That cost can be emotional. It can be financial. It can be reputational. But there has to be a cost. Because human beings are not wired for unconditional loyalty. They are wired for survival. And if betraying you increases their chances of survival, comfort, or status, a percentage of people will do it. Not because they are evil. Because they are human. And humans calculate. So if you want loyalty, you cannot simply earn it through generosity. You have to architect it. You have to make sure that the person who stays loyal benefits more than the person who betrays. You have to make yourself difficult to replace. You have to make your absence costly. Machiavelli said this in a line that most people misread. He said it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. People think that means be a tyrant. It does not. It means be someone whose displeasure has weight. Be someone whose withdrawal creates a vacuum. Be someone whose rejection actually matters. Because if people can betray you without consequence, they will. Not all of them, but enough. And you only need one betrayal at the wrong time to lose everything. So here is the blueprint. Stop giving your loyalty to people who have not earned it. Stop being available to people who only call you when they need something. Stop making yourself easy to take for granted. Loyalty is a market. And in that market, you are both the product and the purchaser. If you are too available, your value drops. If you are too forgiving, your boundaries disappear. If you are too understanding, people stop fearing your judgment. And when they stop fearing your judgment, they stop managing their behavior around you. They get comfortable. And comfortable people betray casually. Not with malice. With convenience. Comment this right now. Loyalty is earned, not assumed, and I will treat it accordingly. Put that in the comments. Make it real. Now, Blueprint 5 is where we enter the truly forbidden territory. Because what I am about to tell you is something Machiavelli only hinted at. Something he could not say directly because it would have gotten him killed faster than he already was being targeted. This is about power itself. And why most people are terrified of it. Blueprint 5. Power is not corrupt, it is revealing. They tell you power corrupts. That is a lie. Power does not corrupt. Power reveals. It reveals who you were all along when you did not have the option to act on it. The person who becomes a tyrant with power was always a tyrant. They just did not have the resources to express it. The person who becomes generous with power was always generous. They just did not have the capacity to distribute it. Machiavelli watched people rise and fall. And he noticed a pattern. The ones who collapsed under power were not corrupted by it. They were exposed by it. Because power removes consequences. And when consequences disappear, the mask comes off. Here is the blueprint. Power is a mirror. It shows you what you actually value when you no longer have to pretend. And that terrifies most people. Not because they are afraid of becoming monsters, but because they are afraid they might already be one and just have not had the opportunity to find out. So they avoid power. They demonize it. They call it evil. They stay small and call it humble. But humility without power is just safety. It is not virtue. True virtue is only proven when you have the power to be corrupt and you choose not to be. Everything else is just lack of opportunity. Machiavelli himself had very little formal power. He was an advisor, a secretary, a writer. But the power he did have, the power of ideas, he wielded with precision. He did not use it to settle scores, even though he could have. He did not use it to flatter the powerful for personal gain, even though that was the norm. He used it to document truth. And that choice, that restraint, that clarity of purpose, is what made his work immortal. So the question is not whether you should seek power. The question is, what will you do with it when you have it? Because if you do not know the answer to that, you should not pursue it. Power in the hands of someone with no purpose is just chaos. But power in the hands of someone with clarity is transformation. And transformation is what the world actually needs. Not more powerless good people. More powerful good people. People who can enforce their values instead of just preaching them. People who can protect what matters instead of watching it get destroyed while they pray for mercy. Let me know you are tracking with me. Comment this. Power does not corrupt me, it reveals me, and I will be ready. Drop that below. And if you have not already, subscribe to this channel. Because what comes next is the blueprint that will change how you see every conversation, every negotiation, every interaction for the rest of your life. Blueprint 6. Truth is a gift you give selectively. Machiavelli never told the whole truth to anyone. Not because he was a liar, but because he understood that truth is not neutral. Truth is a weapon. And like any weapon, it can protect you or destroy you depending on who is holding it. Here is the blueprint. You do not owe anyone your truth. Not your feelings. Not your plans. Not your past. Not your fears. The idea that honesty is always the best policy is a children's fairy tale. In the real world, honesty without strategy is just vulnerability without protection. And vulnerable people get exploited. Let me be clear. I am not telling you to lie. I am telling you to be selective. There is a difference between lying and withholding. Lying creates false realities. Withholding protects true ones. When someone asks you a question, you have 3 options. Answer fully, answer partially, or redirect. Most people default to answering fully because they think that is what integrity looks like. But integrity is not about full disclosure. It is about alignment between your values and your actions. And sometimes, protecting your mission requires you to keep your cards close. Machiavelli wrote letters to everyone. To the Medici. To his friends. to foreign diplomats. And in every letter, he revealed only what served the purpose of that specific relationship. He did not lie. He just did not give ammunition to people who might use it against him later. That is not deception. That is discernment. And discernment is a lost art. People today vomit their entire lives on social media. They tell strangers their trauma. They broadcast their plans before they have secured them. They share their doubts with people who are looking for reasons to dismiss them. And then they wonder why they feel exposed. Here is what Machiavelli would tell you. Your truth is sacred. And sacred things are not meant for public consumption. They are meant for sanctuaries. For the few people who have earned access. For the relationships that have been tested. Everyone else gets the version of you that serves the interaction. Not the fake you. Just not the whole you. Because the whole you is not their business. It is yours. And you protect it by controlling the flow of information. Comment this if it resonates. My truth is mine to give, not theirs to take. Say it below. Let that be your new operating system. And speaking of operating systems, Blueprint 7 is the one that governs all the others. This is the meta blueprint. The one Machiavelli used to structure everything else. And once you see it, you will never look at power the same way again. Blueprint 7. The game is invisible until you lose. Machiavelli watched princes who did not know they were in a game until the game was over. They thought they were just living, just making decisions, just being fair. And then one day they woke up in exile or in chains, and they finally realized. Everyone else was playing. They were not. Here is the blueprint. There is always a game happening. Always. In your workplace. In your family. In your relationships. There are stakes. There are players. There are rules. And the people who pretend the game does not exist are the ones who lose it. Not because they are bad people. Because they are naive. And here is the cruelest part. The game does not announce itself. It does not send you an invitation. It just runs in the background of every human interaction. People are positioning. They are calculating. They are forming alliances. They are testing boundaries. And if you are not aware of it, you become a piece on someone else's board. You become the pawn that gets sacrificed so someone else can protect their queen. The blueprint is this. You do not have to be ruthless. But you do have to be aware. You do not have to manipulate. But you do have to see when you are being manipulated. You do not have to play dirty. But you do have to know what game you are in. Machiavelli himself lost the game once. He was arrested, tortured, exiled. And you know what he did after? He studied the game. He wrote the manual. He made sure that even if he could not play anymore, the people who came after him would know the rules. And that is why we are still reading him 500 years later. Because he turned his loss into a blueprint. He turned his pain into pedagogy. And that is available to you too. Every betrayal you have experienced. Every loss. Every moment where you realized too late that someone was playing you. That is not just trauma. That is tuition. You paid for that lesson. Now extract the blueprint. Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments. Tell me what blueprint has hit you hardest so far. Tell me which one you are going to apply first. Because I want to know that you are not just consuming this. I want to know you are becoming this. This is not entertainment. This is extraction. You are pulling out the operating system of power and installing it in yourself. And that makes you different. That makes you dangerous. And that is exactly what the world needs more of. Now, Blueprint 8 is about fear. And Machiavelli had a relationship with fear that most people completely misunderstand. They think he said to make people fear you. He did not. He said something far more sophisticated. Blueprint 8. Fear is only useful if it does not create hate. Machiavelli drew a line most people miss. He said a prince should be feared but not hated. And that distinction is everything. Fear without hate creates respect. Fear with hate creates rebellion. Here is the blueprint. If people fear you because you are unpredictable, cruel, or petty, they will eventually unite against you. But if people fear you because you have standards, because you enforce boundaries, because you do not tolerate disrespect, they will respect you. And respect mixed with fear is the most stable form of influence. Let me give you a modern translation. Your boss can fire you. That creates fear. But if your boss fires you unfairly, publicly humiliates you, or abuses power, that creates hate. And hate builds coalitions. People who hated your boss individually will find each other. They will talk. They will organize. And eventually, they will find a way to remove the threat. But if your boss fires you because you violated a clear standard that everyone knew existed, you might fear the consequence, but you cannot hate the fairness. You lost because you broke the rule, not because the ruler was corrupt. That is the blueprint. If you are going to be feared for your consistency, not your chaos. Be feared because people know you will do what you say. Be feared because your word is law and your boundaries are non-negotiable. But do not be feared because you are unstable. Because instability does not create authority. It creates anxiety. And anxious people do desperate things. Machiavelli saw leaders who ruled through terror. And he watched them die violently. Because terror does not create loyalty. It creates the desire for escape. And the moment a better option appears, everyone runs. So if you want to be undeniable, if you want to be someone people cannot ignore, do not make them hate you. Make them respect the fact that you cannot be moved, that you cannot be manipulated, that you cannot be guilt-tripped into lowering your standards. That is fear without hate. That is power without poison. Comment this. I will be feared for my standards, not my cruelty. Drop that below. Make it a vow. Blueprint 9 is about timing. And this might be the most overlooked element of everything Machiavelli ever wrote. Because all the strategy in the world means nothing if your timing is wrong. Blueprint 9. The right move at the wrong time is the wrong move. Machiavelli wrote about princes who did the right thing too early or too late and lost everything. There was a prince who tried to disarm his enemies before he had consolidated power. He was overthrown. There was another who waited too long to purge traitors because he wanted to be sure. By the time he acted, it was too late. They had already mobilized. Here is the blueprint. Timing is not just important. It is everything. The same action that saves you in one moment destroys you in another. Forgiving someone too soon makes you weak. Forgiving them too late makes you irrelevant. Cutting someone off too early makes you reactive. Cutting them off too late makes you a victim. So how do you know when to move? Machiavelli had a principle. Act when the cost of inaction exceeds the risk of action. Read that again. As long as doing nothing is safer than doing something, wait. Gather information. Build resources. Let the situation reveal itself. But the moment inaction becomes more dangerous than action, you move. Decisively. Completely. No half measures. Because half measures communicate doubt. And doubt invites challenge. If you are going to act, act like you have no choice. Act like it is inevitable. Because that is what makes people accept it. Here is the part most people get wrong. They think hesitation is wisdom. It is not. Hesitation is just fear disguised as patience. Real patience is active. It is watching. It is preparing. It is waiting for the exact moment when your move will have maximum impact and minimum resistance. That is what Machiavelli did. He did not write The Prince while he was in power. He wrote it in exile when the only power he had left was his mind. And that timing made it immortal. If he had written it while he was comfortable, it would have been theoretical. Because he wrote it from the ashes, it became biblical. What move are you delaying right now because you are afraid of the timing? What decision are you postponing because you are waiting for permission that will never come? Comment this. I will act when inaction becomes more dangerous than movement. Say it. Commit to it. Because Blueprint 10 is the final one. And it is the one that will determine whether you apply any of this or just consume it and stay the same. Blueprint 10. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Here is the dark truth they do not want you to know. Most people collect knowledge like trophies. They read books. They watch videos. They take notes. And they do nothing. Because knowledge makes them feel powerful without requiring them to risk anything. It gives them the illusion of progress while keeping them exactly where they are. Machiavelli did not write for those people. He wrote for the ones who would actually use it. The ones who would take the blueprint and build. The ones who would see the game and play it. The ones who would stop spectating and start operating. So here is my question for you. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to watch this video, feel inspired for 20 minutes, and then go back to the same life? Or are you going to take one blueprint, just one, and apply it tomorrow? Because that is the only thing that matters. Not what you know, what you do. Machiavelli is not remembered because he had good ideas. He is remembered because he wrote them down. Because he acted on what he understood even when it cost him everything. And that action is what separated him from every other political thinker of his time.